I'm just trying to find a location to film this video in. See, I have like, this is all set up in here, so I can't put my camera where I normally do. Let's see, will this work right here? We're gonna try something. Whoa! Let's see. So, this week's real estate conversation is about what happened to my business when I got a real estate niche or a real estate niche, however you call it. Grab your tea, I have mine, it's almost out, or your beverage of choice, and let's get into the video. What we're gonna talk about today is what happened to my business when I got a niche, a real estate niche, how I did it, how you can do it, why I think it's a good idea or actually necessary, to be honest, in today's oversaturated online world for real estate agents, but also just because of the market that we're heading into. This is why I think, we'll share that at the end, why I think that it's a really, really good idea to be a specialist in something. I think that there are 3 different types of real estate niches that you could have. A niche that is like a type of demographic, a type of person, I guess you could say. It could be first-time buyers, people who are really into hiking. It could be downsizers, 55 and over, move-up buyers. There's so many different types, but it could just be like a type of person. My niche, I would say, is a type of person. It's a relocation client, out-of-state buyer. So basically someone who is moving from out of state or country to my area. So that is the niche. There's a second type of niche. You could have a niche that's really based around a type of property. So farmland, vacant lots, townhouses, duplexes, lots of different ideas. It could be really anything, manufactured homes. A third niche would be an area. Like you really specialize in this particular neighborhood, you specialize in this side of town, you specialize in this county. I got my real estate license when I was 18 back in 2015, and for the first few years, I worked with absolutely anyone and everyone. I did like so many different forms of getting business. My business was coming from here and there and everywhere, and I literally drove like 4 hours once for a client. I didn't turn down any business, and I was a little bit scared to get a niche, or I just like never was interested. I would hear people, you hear people in real estate trainings saying that you should have a niche, or riches are in the niches, or it's a good idea to have a niche for your business and it can actually benefit you. But I totally didn't believe that. So you might be listening to me right now and like, you might be thinking how I did. I did not believe that it would actually be a positive thing for my business to get a niche. I actually thought it would hurt my business because I thought it would keep me from all of those other people that are not in that niche. I thought it would like hold them back from working with me. So that is what I thought. What has happened to my real estate business since I niched down? I think the benefits of having a niche, and I've heard this from other people who are in other niches, not just relocation, other niches like probate or divorce, like that specify in working with like sellers in that situation, for example. I have heard this from them as well, so I don't think it's like just unique to the relocation niche, but a few things that have happened to my business since niching down. Everything has become so much simpler and easier and way less time consuming. I'm no longer wearing I still wear a bunch of hats. As a realtor, you always, wear a bunch of different hats, but I wear way less hats than I used to. I have extreme clarity in my business and extreme focus, which I think is a huge advantage. I am not hopping from thing to thing. I know exactly what to do every single day for my business, and that is it. That's all I focus on. I'm not being pulled in a million different directions. Another thing that happened when I niched down is that I have the ability to work with much less clients than I used to because this niche ended up raising my average price point by a lot. And quick side note, I also do think that a form of like prospecting, I would consider that to be a niche. So like your niche could be expired listings. Like you're the expired guy, you have processes down for them. And I just feel like focusing on one thing and just doing it really, really well and over and over and over again is gonna make your life so much easier. So I guess when I was a new agent, my niche was for sale by owners in a way, because that's pretty much all I did. That's where like all my business came from. I had systems in place. I did it over and over again. I guess that was my niche before, but I also worked with anyone and everyone in so many different types. I never like branded myself as anything, if that makes sense. I don't have to chase leads anymore. They come directly to me. I don't have to convince anyone to work with me like I used to. I used to spend so much time convincing prospects to work with me. I have the best quality leads ever coming directly to my email inbox. There's less competition when you have a niche, because not every agent, I mean, the average agent is not trying to be a specialist in something. They're trying to work with anyone and everyone. Okay, so how did I do it? The way that my niche came about, I always say that I didn't find my niche found me. And what I mean by that is back in 2020, I have been in real estate since 2015. And in 2020, I posted a video about, I think it was called like 5 reasons I love living in Salem, Oregon, or something like that, and didn't really think anything of it. A couple months later, I got a buyer from it. They came to my email inbox, and it was like the easiest buyer lead I'd ever worked with, higher price point than I was, way higher price point than what I was used to working with, and I just couldn't believe it. And so I really didn't plan like intentionally on relocation being my niche, but once I saw that it was working, I really like doubled down on it, and now we pretty much dominate search, like SEO. We pretty much dominate search if you're searching for moving to our specific location in Oregon. That is how I found my niche. It kind of happened on accident, but then once I saw that it was working, I became super intentional about it and double down on all my marketing. That was basically all that we focused on, was relocation to our specific area. So you're thinking, that sounds great, but how do I even get started? The first thing is find a niche that interests you. Don't overthink it. It might be something that's super obvious, but you don't even think of as a niche. Second thing is to become an expert at everything having to do with that specific niche or that specific type of real estate, and educate yourself as much as you can on it. The third thing is brand yourself as a real estate agent that specializes in that specific type of niche, and just start pumping out content that is for that specific client. The fourth thing is be consistent for longer than you think you need to be, because I really believe this is a proven method. I've seen it work. I've talked to other agents, like I said, in many different niches who have seen it work as well. So I really, really do believe that it's a proven, effective method. But I think the biggest reason it doesn't work, or the only reason really that it doesn't work, is that we don't oftentimes give it enough time. Last thing that I wanted to touch on is why I think that having a niche is super, super important for this particular housing market that we're in right now. So if you're not familiar with what's going on in the housing market right now, we are at a point in time where there are record levels of real estate agents in the industry. So many people over the last few years have gotten into the business, obviously because of what a great, easy market it's been. But because of interest rates and home prices and everything else, and just like lack of inventory, there are less deals happening in general, less contracts being written, and less people exchanging keys, I guess you could say. There's just less deals happening than there were before. So record high number of agents, and then lower number of deals than we're used to seeing happening over the last couple years. So something, I mean, I've been seeing this in my business, and I've heard this from talking to other agents who are in other parts of the country, that really it just feels like there's definitely still like business happening. There's still transactions happening. There's still people that have to buy and sell, but overall, it does feel like you have to do just like 10 times more of whatever it is you're doing to get business in order to see results, versus before you didn't have to do quite as much of it to get business, if that makes sense. So if you're cold calling, it just seems like you have to make that many more calls to get results from it. And in our particular niche, although we have seen, especially at the time of filming this, interest rates just went up last week. I don't know, not even a week ago actually. I don't know exactly when this video will go up, but at this time at least, they went up only about a week ago. And we have seen, even in just this last week, a handful of buyers who were ready to go, qualified, like very qualified, looking right now, buyers drop off and not be able to buy because the rates went up and now their payment is just a little bit unaffordable for them. However, because of our specific niche, we do still have clients who are people that have to buy. They're moving to our area because their job is moving them, or they need to be closer to their family because of an emergency that's going on, or whatever the situation. They have to buy for reasons that are bigger than interest rates. They have to move to Oregon. They're selling their house where they're at. That's the situation that a lot of these relocation clients are in. A lot of them, specifically for our area, maybe it's because we don't live in a super like touristy relocation area. So the people who are moving here are people who a lot of times have to buy. And because of that, I really think that it is in anybody's best interest to have a niche and something that they specialize in real estate for when the market isn't so good. Because when there's less people buying, you want to be working with the people who have to buy during that time or sell, if that makes sense. So that's one reason why I'm super thankful for our niche right now. Thanks for watching. If you grabbed value from this video, head over to our channel. We have a handful of playlists that you might find value from as well. One playlist in particular is specifically only about video marketing, and we go even more in depth on kind of what I touched on today and exactly how we get our business, our relocation clients, and all of what we do over on that playlist. So go check it out. And also, I'm wanting to do a Q&A with Spencer sometime soon. We haven't really done like a sit down podcast style video together on this particular channel in a while. So if you have any questions for either of us, he's more of our like listing guy, prospecting guy. If you have questions for either of us for the Q&A, feel free to comment below or shoot me an email and we will be sure to get to those. And I will see you guys next week.